All right, guys, here we are once again, probably later than it should be, but here we go. If you're watching this, then you're going to notice that we're jumping to 30. We're still in Cicero. We're still in the Pro Caelio. We do skip 17 to 29, which is just more of Cicero pushing back against the accusations and defending the character of Caelius. He spends quite a lot of time defending the character of Caelius. Here, what we're going to see for the first time is the name of Clodia. Okay, and we've talked about Clodia before. She was probably Caelius's mistress. We can't talk about Clodia and Caelius without also mentioning Catullus. She was probably Catullus' mistress as well. And she's very famous, one of the most famous women, I think, Rome ever produced, partly because of this speech. And what's interesting to learn is that I just learned when I was reading through some of the other papers. I did post a bunch of papers online. I would encourage you to read one or two, by the way. That this was done on the trial was actually held on a public holiday. And that's very atypical. Normally, you're not supposed to have it on public holidays. In fact, all business was supposed to stop on public holidays, but they did it anyway. And I think what's interesting is that Cicero took this opportunity to make this like a joke. Like, what people coming into Rome looking at some trial would take it seriously? It's a public holiday, people. It's like trying to try Santa Claus on Christmas Day. What is that, Miracle on 34th Street? All right, you get laughed out of court. And that's kind of what Cicero is doing through some of this. So his unbelievable ability to smear someone, to act in a manipulative manner, and to certainly double talk is unmatched and unparalleled in some of these lines. He's very good at not talking about the accusation at all and simply smacking into the prosecution about how terrible they are. So he's like, don't worry about my guy, your guy's worse. And if you notice this kind of deflection, it's very typical. Students still do this. Miss Campbell, I can't believe you called on me. You know, the other guy has been doing it for even longer, and you're just picking on me because you didn't notice the other guy. So again, you're not talking about what you did or didn't do. You're merely deflecting from yourself onto someone else. Sometimes it's very effective. So Cicero was even better than you guys at deflecting people's anger and pushing it on to someone else. So he's jumping right in here, and he is still going against one of his accusers. I'll look it up. I think it's not Bestia, his Bestia's son. And I'll double check his name in a second. But so therefore, to a severity, let's do this. Okay, so therefore, to your severity, ut oportet, as it is fitting, is fitting. Okay, therefore, to your severity, as it is fitting, ita respondere non audeo. I do not dare to respond. So in this way, actually, what he's kind of doing is saying, your trumped up BS charges aren't worthy of a response. I'm not even going to respond to it while he responds to it. It's very weird. Okay. It's like, I'm not going to justify your crappy argument with counter post from me. You're not worthy. You can just hear it. You're not worthy. Okay. Erat inam meam. Indeed, it was my responsibility in a way, mine, de precare, to, this is a deponent verb, by the way, to avert suspicion, or to beg for forgiveness. Indeed, it was, we can say maybe for me. For me. All right, so indeed it was for me to beg to entreat. Do you guys know what to entreat means? We're going to go to beg. And you go down here to the petire, the quaes connecting bows, and to seek vactionem, freedom from blame. That's what vactionem, freedom from blame, and pardon. Could be for this youth or of this youth. Might be better as for this youth. Beg and seek freedom from blame and a pardon for this youth. Youth. All right, so the adolescente here is obviously Caelius, and Cicero is restating the obvious. All right, I'm supposed to be looking out for him. Inquam, I say non audeo. I don't dare it. I don't dare. Okay. So he's reiterating. We got a little anaphora in there. Non audeo, non audeo, inquam. Non, I don't dare it. I don't dare it. And this is probably very tongue-in-cheek. It's like, I'm not even, no. All right. I don't dare. Nor am I going to use what others have used. Okay. And that's what we get this utor. Nor will I imply per fuges the excuse aetatus of age. And this is going on with the, well, they're young, they're just kids, what do they know? This excuse, again, 2,000 years, nothing has changed. People still use it for their kids, right? Like, all right, you guys are kids. You know what? You make mistakes. He's saying that my client doesn't need this. I'm not even going to say it, not even going to justify it. So I will not, it's not actually, I am not, I guess it's present tense. Sorry, I made it future and I'm not even sure why I did that. I will not employ the excuse of age. Okay? Non utor. I will not employ per fugis the excuse aetatus of age. To pile on, demito conquesta jura. I dismiss, I poo the rights having been given to everybody else. I send away the I want to say rights. The rights, yeah, I can't think of, all right, the rights concessa having been granted to literally everyone else. It's like, my guy doesn't need it. Okay, he doesn't need it because he didn't do anything wrong. Tantum petto, and he doesn't, but it's a little bit like he kind of slides back here. Petto, going with the petire, again, we get all these repetitions, these verb, all this in natural. I seek, tantum here just means only. I seek only, ut, that. I only seek that if. Now, this is an aliquia, okay? If there is any, so quia here is going to be any, that if there is any invidia communis, general dislike, common hatred, at this time, hoc tempore, at this time, all right, so do you see that? So demitio, I send away those ura, those rights having been granted omnibus to everyone. I seek only, petto tantum, that if qui est, there is any hatred in common or communal hatred at this time of another's debt, of others' debt. And I think what he means here, and I'll probably look deeper into some of the commentaries. He's like, all right, maybe you have a kid in the house that owes you money. Maybe you have a 20-year-old rolling around that's really just making you crazy. Don't take your anger out on my 20-year-old. Just because your 20-year-old is acting like a doofus, don't think that my 20-year-old is acting like a doofus. Okay? So he's saying, if there is any invidia communis, common hatred at this time of another's debt, petulantia of, again, of immodesty, probably, okay, of, oops, no, of libidinum juventus, of I want to go libertine, but that's not the right one, of lewd, of rude, of sexually inappropriate young people, of wildly inappropriate youths, of ribald youths. Oh my gosh, I've got to come up with a better word. Oh, you know what I mean, though. Of inappropriate youths. Okay, guys, you know when I say inappropriate, what I actually mean is like what I just said. Like of oh my gosh, I kind of want to pause. I can't. Oh, you know what I mean. Okay, so just sexually inappropriate, perverted. Let's do that. Perverted youths. Perverted might be better there. Quam video, which I see to be great. So right now, Cicero is saying, if there's any hatred common at this time of another's debt, of immodesty, of these immoral youths, which I see to be great. So he's looking around the room, looking at all these old men who are like crotchety in their 60s going, I get it, y'all are pissed at the 20-year-olds. Don't take that anger out on this kid who's actually a good kid. He didn't do anything wrong. Okay? So here you go. Which I see to be great. Okay. Ne huic. So this ne is going to go down here to this nocant. All right. Lest they harm this youth. What do I want to say? How do I want to do this? Hold on. So that, let's do it this way, so that neither another's sins another's sins, that's the alenia peccata, another's sins, nor the sins, not sins again, the vices, let's do that, nor the vices of age and time, here time, I suppose, is more like of the sign of the times, not like of this time, but like, you know, it's again, it's that idea that oh, the times, oh, the ways, oh, the youth of today are so immoral. You guys don't know, you know, I can't believe kids get away with what they get away with. I mean, the same thing that your parents tell you are the same things the old Romans told their kids 2,000 years ago. Literally, nothing has changed. The more you study history, the more you realize that nothing has changed. Nor the vices of age and time, no can't harm, tweak this one, so that neither another's sins nor the vices of age and time harm this one. And of course, this one is Caelius. All right. All right, makes sense? So what he's saying in these lines right here, he's like, I'm going to dismiss the option to say, oh, he's just a young kid. And you guys are going to put away your thoughts of, I hate young kids. That's an oversimplification, but just so that you guys sort of understand what was Cicero's point in this. Cicero is saying, my client doesn't need the, oh, he was a young kid excuse, but I need you guys to forget that he is a young kid and that you hate young kids. Okay? Sort of. All right. And I, Adam, the same one who demands this. Okay? And I, the same, this is what Cicero is promising in return, same one who demands this, the same one who demands this, okay? Now this is interesting. Quinquimibus, quae in hunc proia conferunt, diligentissime respondeam non recuso. Before you go to the quin, you really need to pick up the recuso. All right. So, and I, the same one who, postulo, demands these things, non recuso, do not object to. Do not object to, or do not object. Let's do it this way. Do not object that, I'm sort of inserting of that because it's respondium, that I should respond most diligently. Look at the superlative. Most diligently. Most diligently to those crimes which conferuntur, have been brought in, have been conveyed into hunc, into this space properly. To those crimes which have been conveyed into this space properly. Okay. So, and I, the same one who postulo demands hike these things, okay, do not object that I should respond most diligently to those, oh gosh, I said crimes, guys, you don't use crimes, those accusations. Oh, I fell into my own trap. Remember, criminibus isn't crime, it means accusation. Okay, to those accusations which properly into this place conferuntur, have been conveyed, have been brought in. Okay. That piece was a little bit trickier. This next, the last chunk here really isn't that bad. Okay, this is pretty straightforward. For Cicero, this is very straightforward. However, there are two accusations, two crimina, two accusations. However, there are two accusations, okay? Of ari et veni, of gold and of poison. Now we're really getting into the two things that really are being sort of slammed at Caelius by Clodia. A, he tried to poison Clodia according to her. Okay, even in Rome, trying to kill each other, especially among the upper classes, that was a no-no. Okay, you could kill other people, you couldn't kill other upper class Romans. Okay, and that he borrowed money from her to bribe other elected officials or to bribe others to vote for him. Okay, remember we talked about that in the last video about these different levels of bribery. You could directly bribe someone in illegal voting fraud. You could get into a posse of people, a consortium of people to set up bribes, or you could go through a third party, and you could either be the middleman where you took money from one person and gave it to someone else, which was illegal, or you could, use a middleman to give bribes. All of that was illegal. And it's kind of like splicing hairs because it's all bribery, but it's different types of bribery. And of course, the Romans were uber specific in the types of bribery you had. Okay, so he's talking about there are two accusations of gold and of poison. All right, of gold and of poison. Poison. Okay. Now we get to the good stuff, in which one and the same person, where Sator is in the background, is moving around, is engaged. Okay. In which one and the same person, so he's like, in which there's one and the same one, where Sator, behind it all. Okay. The same person engaged in these activities, okay, behind the scenes. Aurum sumptum insertum est. Gold had been taken up by Clodia. Now we see Clodia for the first time. She's been behind the scenes. Now remember, Clodia's a woman. She's not in court. Her brother Clodius, or more likely one of his freedmen or relatives, is representing them in court today. Okay? These people were a bit wild and crazy. They were extremely well connected, extremely historically relevant, and unbelievably wealthy. Okay? They had more money than they knew what to do with. So I guess going to court and throwing wild parties, why not? All right. Gold had been taken up by Clodia. Okay? Veniam quaestum est. Poison. Hold on. Poison had been sought, which was given to Clodia. Poison had been sought, which was given to Clodia. Okay? So, not only did he take money from her, but then he tried to poison her. Now, two frames of thought I think are going to get brought in. A, he tried to kill Clodia because she claims he tried to kill her because she broke off the relationship and he was mad and he wanted it. Others claim that he tried to kill Clodia because she knew that he'd borrowed money from her for bribes and he wanted to, close off any, anyone who might talk against him. So you know what they say, leave no witnesses. So you got to kill Clodia off to make sure she's not a witness. Okay, okay, come on, stop it. There, that should help with that. All right, so here we go. There are two crimes, the same person, gold and poison. Gold had been taken up by Clodia. Poison had been sought, which was given to Clodia. Ut dicitur, as it is said. Ut dicitur is kind of like, so they say. All right. It is definitely, oh, come on. Let's see if I can get that. Okay, let's try it that way. I think that locks the focus, so it just stops going in and out. Okay, as it is said, he's like, this is like a brush off. He's like, this is what people say. It's like, it's a rumor. Everything other, all these other things are not accusations. All these other things are not accusations, but maledicta, but what do we call it when you speak ill against someone? Bad words, but it's not that. It's not libel. Is it libel? I think, is it libel? No, slander. It's slander. Sorry, slander. But slander. Okay. All of this other stuff are not accusations. What slander? All right, he's saying right now there's absolutely nothing here. You're maledicta, but slander, bad words. Urigi petulantus, of an angry, aggressive alternative, like of an aggressive altercation, of an aggressive madman. It's aggressive, 2 G's. Of an aggressive altercation, like wanting to start something, more than, that is this magus quam, more than of publicae quaestiones, is seeking judicial inquiry, more than of public judicial inquiry, more than of public judicial, is there an I in there? Yes. Inquiry, oh my gosh, inquiry, this is, okay, I'm tired. All right, so what's he saying? He's going again. He's like, this is complete bupkis. This is just malarkey. All right. These are not accusations. They're slander. That's more worthy of an aggressive altercation than a public judicial trial. All right. We've just got people smacking words at each other, and yet we're actually bringing it to court. These people are crazy. All right. Adulterer, impudicius, sequestor. Adulterer, okay, we do get the English word adulterer from it, but in Latin it actually means more than that. It's illicit lover. It is bad news guy. It is someone who takes advantage of someone else. It's all of that sort of wrapped into one. I think we could probably just translate it as adulterer, but keep in mind that it does have a wider implication. Adulterer, impudicius is, oh God, this one gets a little bit, there's a lot with impudicius. It means immoral. It means perverted. It means disgusting. In some implications, it could also mean homosexual. It means sexually perverted. It's very, like, there's so many layers in this. It's rather a nasty little thing, but we're going to say pervert here. Okay, adulterer, pervert, and then, of course, briber, middleman. Sequester is, again, we talked about this charge, middleman briber, pervert, middleman briber. Okay, like you're just the one in between. Okay, you're not even like the actual. These are things that have been said against Caelius. These are the slurs that are coming against him. Convictum est. They are noise. They are not accusations. Okay. It is noise, not an accusation. So what he's saying right now is this is just, it's hot air, it's hot wind. There's nothing. Nullum est inum fundamentum. Indeed, there is no foundation of these crimes. There's no proof of these crimes. All right. There is no nullum fundamentum, foundation indeed, horum criminum, of these accusations. I think I said crime. It's not a crime, it's an accusation. Okay. There is no fundamental foundation indeed of these crimes. There is no foundation of these crimes. Okay. Nulla sedes. There is no basis. Sedes and fundamenta kind of mean the same thing. Foundation, basis, like groundwork. There's nothing there. It's hot air and mist. Okay. They have absolutely nothing to stand on. Okay. Nulla sedes, no basis. Okay. No basis for these crimes. The voces contumeliversa. All right. The voices, what kind of voices are they? They're abusive. The abusive voices, emisa, have been hurled recklessly, temerare. The abusive voices have been hurled, okay, recklessly, okay, by ab irratio accusatore, by an angry accuser with no witness. Okay. With no witness. Okay, the accuser here could be Claudia, could be Clodius. Doesn't actually start. I mean, I don't know. I'd have to double check. It could be because he's been talking about Claudia. It's probably going back to Claudia. So he's like, she's just, and I think we have this very subtle jibe at a very patriarchal view of, well, you know, women get a little cray cray sometimes. You gotta brush it off. It's a hot wind. There's no proof of anything. And I think this is again, you know, something that we've heard before, something that has been seen before in, you know, any political commentary that you look at any, you know, I don't know, whatever, in any trial scene, in any crazy drama that you've seen, you've heard similar things. She's just a little angry. Isn't she just a little hot-headed? Women, you can't get them, they're too emotional, right? And so Cicero is kind of pulling this in, and he's almost poking fun at her with this. There's no foundation for this. She's just, she's made a woman. She's got a little crazy. She had a bad day. She burned a hair tongue, or she broke it down. You can't trust women. Not that he's actually saying that, but I think there's some subtext here that does. All right, so that's this. We're going to be done with this now, and I'll talk about it tomorrow in class. All right, y'all. Have a good night.